Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. This is my weekly show where you see what I got done, what I'm working on, and what is coming up. So this week I finished off some stuff for Wild West Exodus from More Cradle Studios. I finished off some stuff for Monsterpocalypse. And my paint table filled up with all kinds of new projects. So I have two new warbands for Warhammer Underworld's Night Vault, the Sylvaneth and Caradhran Overlords warbands to paint up. Some new stuff for Relic Blade, a new Infinity project to work on, a new historical project to work on. I'm going to finally probably get cracking into Saga, and then some odds and ends to finish up. So let's see what got done and what is coming up. So first off, here's what got painted this week. We finished off some Wild West Exodus that I'd been sitting on painting for a while I found an opponent. This is the Gunfight at Red Oak starter set, and what I did was I painted up as a one-player starter instead of a two-player starter, which gives me about 700 and change, 750 points maybe. I got Jesse James, this is the James Gang, and Frank James, my two characters. And then took both canine attack dogs and canine gun dogs and painted them up as well as the rocket sled. The cool, I guess it flies. I don't know if it flies or it surfs. It's a jet engine with a dude riding it and some rotary guns on it, so it's pretty neat. Some Gattlers. I got to play my first two games against Warrior Nation using the version 1.0 of the new edition, the second edition of this neat little Western skirmisher. And we'll hopefully get to play some more of it soon. I don't know when, but I'm sure in the future we'll get back to it. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, hopefully I'll add some more outlaws and miscreants to my collection and try a bigger game. Because apparently the game is played at standard like 1,500 points. We played about a half-size game here. And I should have like twice as much stuff. Then I finished off Armadax and the Raptixes for my Pterosaurs selection for good old Monsterpocalypse, and this puts me at done for all 6 of the original big baddie monsters for the Protectors, as well as their like at least one pack of all their minions too. I got my Mount Terra done, so which is pretty excited about that. We gave him a try this week. He's a giant damage sponge. Oh my god, he is good at taking a punch and then getting mad and throwing dudes. That seems to be his jam because he has Riled. And doesn't suffer super damage or collision damage. So he only suffers damage when he gets thrown into a hazard, basically. And if you took nothing but buildings that don't cause fires on your half of the table, it'd be real easy to just not have him be able to take any damage at all. In fact, that would be a super solid play, actually, is just take 12 buildings that are non-combustible. And he will never take damage, actually, from landing in them. So any of like the slam throw attacks would never do additional damage. You'd have to hit him 12 times to kill him, which would be a lot. Hitting him 12 times would be a lot. And then, of course, you could also be collided into things. So super fun to play with. That's another 13 models in the done pile. I finally went and actually hadn't updated my my hobby resolution for GMG for a while. So I had to go and add like 60 models to it this week. And it felt pretty good going out all that stuff. I think I'm over 200 now. I'm at like 214 for the year, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, lots more to go. And so here's all the working on stuff pile. So first off, we have the new Night Vault stuff. We have Thundrix Profiteers, which are the Caradhran Overlords. All done, and I wanted you to see them unpainted because they're in this weird pearlescent like plastic. It's hard to describe. It's kind of a freaky color. I almost don't want to paint them. But I'm actually really stoked because this is kind of just one of each of the different unit types from the Profiteers. So let me guess, super cool skirmish warband too. And then Ilthari's Guardians, which is the Sylvaneth one. They're all tree revenants. But there's a tree revenant with a bow. So there's like a wizardy lady, and then these 3 tree revenants that have a bow, a sword, and a big glaive. And I'm sure these guys will get rules. I'm actually really stoked because I'm hoping what it means that these two are like the next two released is that the books for these two armies for Age of Sigmar aren't far behind. It'd be really cool to see both these get redone because they're both first edition books. And the Caradhran Overlords in particular could use some new units, but it'd be great to see some new stuff for the Sylvaneth as well, including a Tree Revenant shooting unit. Would love to see some Ghost Wood Elves with bows. I think that'd be sweet. And of course, we'll see their rules probably on release for Age of Sigmar as well. They're not actually in the box, just the Night Vault, the Underworld stuff is in there. So yeah, we paint probably these guys first because they'll add to my Sylvaneth army, and then come back and paint these guys later and give them both a go. Then I played my first 2 games of Daedalus Falls, new updated campaign system, Spec Ops campaign system. And I'm playing as Pan-Oceania. So when you play a campaign, you pick like a parent faction, and then you can play any of the sectorials in that faction. So far I've played as my Bruna and my NCA, and I'm going to finally finish my Knights. So I got this little project here. I want to get them done for my 3rd game and play military orders for mission 0103, which is a crash site mission. We'll send the Space Marines to go do stuff. So I got a painted Deferzen, a couple more Hospitallers, another Joni Baloney, a new HVT, and my Blackfriar. Get them done up so that I have a classic Joni train with some Albedo covering fire, and a couple other units I'll probably paint up too, but this was the stuff that was already assembled in airbrush. They've been sitting in a case for a while. They just need to get done. It's funny how small Deferzen still is compared to the Hospitallers, and Joni is as well, actually. But we'll get this stuff done, and they'll be my 3rd game in the campaign as I switch back and forth. The only problem is in this one, I can't use my Spec Ops guy because the Fusilier is no longer available in the MO list, and neither are they available in the Acon list either when I eventually get to that. Then I got all this awesome new Relic Blade stuff to paint up, and it'll of course get used in Relic Blade, and also I think I'm going to add these guys as adventurers for Rangers of Shadowdeep, because there's just all kinds of cool new dudes. There's a Dwarf Thief, Dwarf Man-at-Arms, Dwarf Alchemist with like his crazy like smoky spell thing, there's Tree Dude, Bow Elf, and then the awesome new Bounty Huntress with her like eye patch and crossbow, and then this dude, the guard captain with a spear and shield, who's awesome too. So Sean did a great job on these. They're all painted up at Adepticon, and Owen had grabbed all of the stuff to build his half and didn't give me these back until this week. So I'm excited to get them all built and painted. I also got some airbrushing done on this big fella, and rebuilt his guns. He had kind of like weird pistols, but I built bigger autocannons, because those look more like autocannons now, for him to be carrying around. And he'll have a secondary flamethrower on his arm, and then missile pack on his back. He was, oh my god, I had to wash him and scrub him 3 times to get the mold release off him, and still then it wasn't even perfect. It was a long road getting him clean. I haven't had resin have that much mold release on it in a while, but we got him airbrushed, and we'll get some paint on him eventually. And then finally, we've got over here Obsidious Malix. I am literally 2 fortress runs away from the Hidden Vault mission. So, well, sorry, 1 fortress run away, and then the Hidden Vault is opened up and we can go and access it. So I'm like maybe 2 games away from being done this. We've filmed the 3rd fortress run, Quarters of Death, and that'll come up in a couple weeks. And I gotta get this guy painted because he's the 4th fortress, and then we go and we fight and we kill, and we hopefully take the Hidden Vault, and that'll round out the first campaign for Black Sun Fortress, which I'm pretty jazzed about, because when Combat Arena comes out, there'll be 4 new characters for this game, and it'll be time to start a new adventure, basically, which will be exciting, because hopefully Combat Arena and the Trader Guard expansion for Black Sun Fortress come around at the same time, and I can get all that stuff painted up, and we can just do a brand new quest for those heroes. Basically, they can go on their own little adventure and do the one against the Evil Guard. And then finally, my Footsore order came in for Saga, and so I got a million bajillion Vikings to paint, which will be exciting. I'm going to do them as maybe Dane. I'm not sure who. I'm not sure if I'm going to do as Danes or what exactly Viking posse I'm going to do them as, but these are wonderful Viking miniatures. You got some Hurdy here, some Bondi, and then I think there's also some Hearthguard in here as well. I actually can't remember what I ordered, but it was at least a unit of everything. So there's some Hearthguard in here, I know for sure. My Warlord, my Bannerman. I got the Battles book, the Viking like war things now. I should get some proper dice. I only have my old Mark 1 Saga dice that were like handmade. I made them with stickers and blank dice. So I should go and get actual like Saga dice and stuff as well. Yeah, I'll pin up my Vikings. I know there's a lot of local guys playing Saga, so we'll probably have some of them in to play the game. And that is what's being worked on at the moment. So there we go on the paint table, done it on the books, sitting at 214 out of 886, so clipping along well, about a quarter of the way. I haven't done any big projects yet this year. I've kind of just been adding to stuff that I'm doing already, and I haven't started a new game. And that's usually what shoots the numbers up. So like when I start that Viking project, the numbers are going to start flying forward a little bit, and then who knows what happens, because the summer is coming fast. We got May coming up soon. And then as you all know, June is the month of the big summer releases starting to roll in. So I suspect we'll see Warcry for Age of Sigmar, and that will probably gobble up a whole bunch of time over the summer. Yeah, and if they redo something in the fall like Gothic, who knows? who knows what's coming. We'll see what's being released this year to climb the mountain of new releases. And of course, lots of stuff I'm working on right now for Game Wolves. And then I'm really enjoying this Infinity campaign. We're probably going to play through the whole thing. So the first act of 3 missions, when I get these nights finished, will be complete. I filmed 2, actually saw 1 yesterday. And then the next one's coming up in 2 weeks. And then there's a break because we can't film all 3 in one day. And I'm working on a new faction to do the 3rd game. And then, yeah, we'll come back to it. We'll probably what we'll probably do is like intersperse campaign games and ITS games for a while. Just to keep it interesting as we go back and forth between like the kind of like more clean like paintball of ITS and the more fun like campaign narrative driven stuff that's in Daedalus Falls. It's a fantastic book, by the way. You'll see my review of it coming up next week, and it is really cool to have like some meaty sort of like campaigny, like you have a character, they progress their experience stuff in Infinity, and it's such a great like way to play Infinity. A refreshing way to play Infinity. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next week for more On the Paint Table. Until next time, I'm Ash. Have a great evening. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below to get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.